So I know I'm doing this kind of backwards, but before I forget, since I just did this, I want to point out some dimensioning issues. You can see I've got a little bit of some trouble right here. And the deal is when you use the aligned dimension, which you will need to do this, uh, everything's got to be nice and square. So I'm going to delete these and show you what I'm talking about. So these lines that we made here are perpendicular to this face, because that is the face that we are showing as an auxiliary view here, and we threw this dimension up. By the way, to get this center mark to show up, to get any center mark to show up, and that's a good one to have. Most of the time you don't need them, but to get them to show up, it's really easy. Just right click on the dimension, go to properties, or you can just type P for properties, right? Actually, you don't. Yeah, it's right there. Or again, just type P for properties. And you look down here and you'll see the word center mark under lines and arrows. I have mine currently on mark. The default is none. So if you have it on none, you can see there's none there in the preview. If you put it on line, it makes this huge plus sign, which is okay if you really want it that big, or you can just click mark and then exit out of it. So that is an important thing to indicate because it's not obvious. Most of the time it is obvious where the center of these things are, but if it's not, go ahead and do that. Go to properties and throw on the little center mark. Okay, and I also did that for this arc over here and dimensioned to it. You can see rather than dimensioning to the bottom of this arc, okay, down here. Anyway, getting back to this dilemma up here. The issue is, how do you show the width of this piece here? And the way they dimensioned it, which was an interesting way to dimension it, is they just said, if you offset the center line of the blade an 1/8 of an inch, sorry, a 1/16 of an inch in both directions, then you will get the size of this flat on top. So that is the way they want it. Let me zoom in real tight so you can see that. So the problem is that this line right here coming off this face isn't perpendicular to the center, right? It's at a different angle because this face line is at a different angle than the center line of the blade. So the thing is you need to offset the center of the blade and then create a line perpendicular to it. Okay, so these lines right here, this guy and this guy, are not perpendicular to it. So that's easy to do. Just go to construction line and type XL, enter A, enter, and it's 150. So that's perpendicular to this guy. Remember, we just added 90 to 60 and got it. And then you will just place it where you want your dimensions to be. And I'll just say like right there. And you got to use it. So you got to be careful when you're doing that you're not clicking on the other one. So here's the other one right here. And you might, at this point, want to just get rid of the other one when it's time to go to do this dimensioning. So now you've got these points perpendicular to it, and they should dimension out correctly. So I should be able to go to my dimensions, click aligned, go from the center to the edge here, get that one. I'll just place it. You can see what it is, 063, yep, that's right. And then again, from the edge to the edge over here, that should be 1, 2, 5. It is. And I'll just place them here and then I can drag them out when I zoom out. So if you're not getting those numbers and you're getting the lines coming off at kind of crazy angles, it's because you don't have your construction lines done correctly. And as far as the placement of these guys, that's kind of up in the air. Maybe the 30-degree symbol should be the farthest out and these should be inner. That's how they had it in our on the example we were given. They did it just like that, which looks pretty good. I think that isn't the best way to do it there, stacking wise. I also did the chamfer by just actually dimensioning the corners there. Another thing I did while you guys were away is I put in all the fillets. So just to show you really quick, you can almost not see them, but there's a 16th fillet here. I'm going to zoom out a little more. There is a 16th fillet right here, you can see. And that's it for the two views that we've done so far. And there's going to be a couple in the top view as well, which I'll show you. Okay, so let's do that top view. You want to pick a starting point fairly close to this guy. I chose, as you can see, this line right here. Just kind of randomly placed it. And then I'm just going to offset it the distances. So the first offset is 4 inches. There it is. And then the next offset is the radius on the blade, which is 0.75. So from here up, there you go. So now you got the 0.75. What lines do we need to project upward? A lot of lines, a whole lot of lines. Get to my construction layer and do that. XL, enter, V, enter. So let's grab this corner, the tips of the blades, where the sphere hits the blade. That's an important one. Where the arc here ends, right there. There may be more that we need, but I think that's it for now. Okay. And I'm going to mark this as the center line. I'm going to put that on a center layer so it's really obvious that is a center line. Okay. I'll zoom out a little. And I'm going to get things started by making the sphere. So the sphere is in the top view, just a circle. And so here is its center line right there, the 4-inch one that we offset, and it just goes to the edge. Okay. The blade is going to come down from this edge right here. This is its outer edge. I'll just mark that now. I'll just drag it across, something like that. You can trim this stuff off later. So that is the most forward edge of this blade, as you can see. The next thing I need to do is create the arc, this 3/4 inch arc. So what does it look like in this view? Let's zoom in on that. We know it's going to be elliptical, right? Because in this vertical direction, it's true size, but it's squished horizontally, and it's squished quite a bit. So how much is it squished? Well, let's project that upward. So what we're going to do is we're going to find the endpoint of this arc. There is the arc itself in the true size view. And we'll project that down onto our project here. Okay. So let's find that. I'll go to my construction layer and project that thing down. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to make a construction line that is parallel to this guy, okay, and then move it or copy it, either way, to where that arc ends. And I can find its endpoint here. There it is. Trying to get the endpoint of this line. There it is right there. That's it. Okay. So the endpoint of that line is what I just clicked onto, and that line right there is definitely perpendicular to this face, parallel to these edges here that we made. And where it hits this face, that's where we know the curve ends and the straight line begins, the tangent begins. And you can see I've already, in the other one I did, put a horizontal line through that. And that should line up over here. Should line up over there. And then we'll have it go in the top view as well by making a vertical construction line there. There it is going up. And where that is right there, that's how deep I know this arc is. So I can go to my ellipse. You know what, let me highlight that so you can see it a little better. I'll just change the color. That green. So this guy's coming down from the end of this arc, bouncing up, and I'm going to go to my object layer and make this ellipse. So that's the center point. That's the one edge, that's the other edge. Oops, sorry, my mistake. That's the center point. That's the one edge. And, oh my goodness. Center point, edge, edge. Oh, right. So that green line marks the edge. We know, again, it's foreshortened in this direction. This distance from here is exactly 0.75. So that's the portion of the arc we're keeping. And we can do the tangent now to our next point. And let's find that. You can see what we're going to do right there, basically like that. Let's find that point. So this bottom of the blade is this line right here. I'll mark that with how about the blue? Okay. So that guy is this guy? How about something better than blue? How about red? So that is where the blade connects to this sphere in the top. So that point right there is going to go to tangent here. So here we go. I'm going to click on that point right there and then go to tangent on this sphere that we made. It should be right around here. There it is. Perfect. Now I'm going to turn off my construction lines and trim this thing away. Yes, that is what I wanted. Okay, so that is the top of the blade on its outer edge. We need to do its inner edge. Throw that, put the construction lines back on, and you can see where that is. Right there, where it connects with the arc, that intersection point. And I'll just go to the center. Suppose I could have done that on this side too, just to the center. Okay. So the blade is looking good here. What's next? Let's look at where we're going. We'll do this arc that is basically the outline of where the blade connects to the sphere. We know this point here, we have that point here. The question is, where does it go? Where does it connect on top? And that is this right here. So this guy, where the sphere hits the blade on top, right there, I've already put a construction line. I'll make that one another color. Let's say that one will be about white. So that's where we're headed. From the red to the white here. I'll zoom in on that. So I just need to do an arc from connecting these 2 points. And the curvature is really mostly visible kind of on the right side of the portion. So keep that in mind. So when you select an arc, we have a start point, we have an end point, and we don't know where the center is. So when you choose one, you're going to do like start, end, and then something. Start and radius will work. So start, end, and then get that thing in place. Now it's bending the wrong way, so I need to do it the opposite. I need to go to the start, end, and choose start on the bottom, end up here, and then flex it out this way. And I'm going to turn my snaps off as I do this so that nothing is interfering with this guy as I try to get him to show up. There we go. All right, that's looking good. Or pulling it off in this direction is, I want it to appear to be kind of tangent at the top. So swinging it around like this. But I don't want it to go past. I don't want it to go past this line. So something right about there is looking pretty good. So that it just comes up, and as it comes up, it just becomes perpendicular to this line. That's the goal. Okay. All right. I'm going to turn the construction lines off and trim out this stuff here. You know, let me zoom out a little bit, see where we're at. Actually, I want to keep this for a minute. What I want to do is trim it to the flat on this side. So remember there is a flat here. This whole back is chopped off. So we need to, we'll do that next. Put on our construction, and that's this guy right here, the outer one. So let's do that. Okay. And then I can trim this circle away to that line. Okay. That's looking pretty good. I think I'm at a point where I'm ready to mirror what I've got. So I'm gonna say mirror MI, enter, grab all this stuff. Actually, I don't need to grab the arc. Just grab all these lines and just mirror that. Okay. Turn off the construction. We are getting real close to being done here. Turn off the center line as well. So what remains is the hidden lines. These hidden lines right here are is the shaft and its bevel. And then of course this hidden line here is just this part that's behind the blade, right? So it's there. We just don't see it because the front of the blade's covering it. So that's a pretty easy thing to take care of. I'm just going to copy all this stuff right here. CO, enter, and just move it over here. And then I'll make this one hidden. And this guy, I'm going to trim away the part that is going to become hidden. TR, just get these guys out of here, delete this one. And on here, I'm going to do the opposite. I'm just going to keep that stuff, right? So I don't need that. And this part I'm going to trim away. Okay, and then I'm just going to move that over from this corner to that corner. I don't need that. I actually didn't need this line either. I could have just deleted that one on both sides. Okay, so that takes care of that. Let's zoom in real tight here, and we'll finish it off. You see that I screwed up a little there. Actually belongs there. We need to do some fillets. So the filleting is from here to here, from there to there. Same thing, from here to here, there to there. Okay. And then put in the 2 holes. So the outer one was 27/32 on the diameter, or the radius is 27/64. And then you can just offset that 1/16 of an inch inward. There it is. I think we got that there. I will post this guy separately so that you can look real close at the dimensions if you'd like.